So, Josh, what are we watching today?
Oh! Well, we're watching 3 action movies today.
How exciting.
Yes!
What action movies are we watching?
Well, the first one we're going to watch is called Blood Debts. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. He is the jury, the judge, and the executioner. End of quotes, exclamation point.
Okay.
Bad grammar. All right, so what we have on the front here, we've got mustachioed fellow with like a track jacket and this
He has
giant...
4 arms.
He does. He's got 3 muzzles, 4 arms, and 1 glorious mustache.
I want to see a movie about an action man with 4 arms now, 3 on one side.
I don't know.
What would you call that? Like
Ganesh.
Tri-punch. Triple fist.
No, triple fist is a whole different kind. Vengeance in the tradition of Death Wish. We're gonna have a bad time. Following the brutal gang rape and murder of his daughter, ex-Vietnam vet Richard Harrison sets out to execute the perpetrators of this heinous crime. Outraged, he becomes a one-man vigilante squad set on putting an end to other criminals who cross his path. Other criminals. So he's a criminal.
Technically, vigilante is a criminal.
That's a fair point. When his wife disappears, he is contacted by her kidnappers and told that there are numerous unpunished criminals on the loose, and after he kills them, his wife will be released. So the kidnappers want him to do what he's doing.
Okay. That's convenient, really.
It really is. Harrison then goes into a killing frenzy until he realizes that the people who kidnapped his wife head up the biggest crime syndicate of all. He must then put an end to them and save his wife single-handedly.
That sounds wonderfully generic.
It really does. I really think we're gonna just feel bad after watching this movie, given the plot and the picture, and it's unrated. This lady's getting attacked by all these people. This is rape.
Oh, they put it on the back of the
Right on the back.
box.
There's that giant gun, which I'm looking forward to that. And then this fella is just getting mouth fucked by this gun.
Well, that's fine.
All right, so that's that.
Let's go watch Blood Debts. Come on! Ah! Oh! Ow! Ah! Ow, my back! I can't get up! Okay. Okay. Come on!
Okay, let's go watch Blood Debts.
Pretty good day, huh? Mm-hmm. It's not too cold.
Thanks.
Good idea having a picnic. Mm-hmm. 2 of us together.
That was some pretty good acting. just generally.
Yeah. Oh no, my chicken!
Oh!
This is what happens to me every time I try to have a picnic.
Shoot him up?
Uh-huh. Bunch of random dudes with guns just cackling at me.
Right.
Hey, you. Hey, monkey. Get your bananas. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Walk towards this thing I can weaponize.
Also, no offense, man, but you're old as fuck. Why are you going after someone who's like half your age? Oh, there we go.
Should have started with the gun.
He wanted it to be personal. I don't know.
Don't make excuses for him.
Uh-oh.
By the way, look, he's gonna kick it back on the fairway, and that's gonna kill him. This is totally happening. Play it where it lies.
Or is he gonna come out and like demand you put the ball back first?
Oh wait, no, someone just did something.
Someone did a switcheroo with the ball.
He's right there. Good job, Blood Debt.
All right, Josh.
That was a movie.
Our next movie is Indiana Jones and the Tomb.
I don't remember that one.
Wait, it just says the Tomb?
Oh.
Starring Cameron Mitchell.
Now I want to get excited I want to get excited about that, but we've been steered wrong before. However, he is top billed.
He is top billed.
He is top billed.
Right next to John Carradine. And Michelle Bauer, whatever. Sybil Danning, David Pearson, who gives a fuck about any of those people. All right, the tomb. From within the isolated shadows of an Egyptian tomb, a legendary demon comes to avenge those who stole her sacred treasure.
Okay.
Grave robbers journey to Egypt and violate an ancient tomb, which unleashes the fury of an immortal Egyptian princess. Lots of demons and whatnot.
That's great.
That is great. Using her evil mystic powers, she follows them to Los Angeles, seeking her revenge. So there's probably going to be a kick-ass opening sequence in Egypt, and then most of the movie's going to take place in LA with people wandering around, wondering who's the demon for real, probably.
Oh, probably.
She destroys the thieves and ultimately threatens eternal life itself. That's not much of a threat.
She threatens eternal life?
Yeah. I will make you live forever!
Oh no, how bored.
No,
Oh,
don't do that. Man's courage is pitted against her evil powers in a battle of will against mysticism. This action-adventure stars Cameron Mitchell, John Carradine, and Sybil Danning. Color, 84 minutes.
Oh, okay, good.
A news update.
Yes.
This is directed by the man who did Alienator.
That means nothing to me.
It should. It should, Josh.
Okay.
I'm gonna go watch the movie.
Don't fall over again.
Oh, plot twist! I didn't!
Oh, crotch kick! Yes. Yes.
All right.
That's exactly what happened.
He has a fucking crack shot.
You know, you catch the gas tank just right. Kaboom.
Dave, look. What is it? Well, it's only a guess. The ancient Egyptian embalmers used to remove the hearts of their dead, put a live scarab in its place. For luck.
Oh, that's really bad.
So there's probably going to be a kick-ass opening sequence in Egypt, and then most of the movie's going to take place in LA with people wandering around, wondering who's the demon for real, probably.
Oh, probably.
Some kind of ending is going to happen.
I guess. All right, so our final movie for today is Undefeatable.
All right.
It's Undefeatable.
Spoilers.
So it'll be the best movie.
Okay.
Because you can't beat it. Out of the ring, into the fire, in a fight to the finish.
You may as well just call your movie The Good Guy Wins.
A brutal killer ignites the fight of a lifetime. Karate champion and martial arts superstar Cynthia Rothrock. Remember Cynthia Rothrock?
Was she on the Flintstones?
Cynthia Rothrock rips into action against a serial killer facing her most dangerous opponent ever. Ever. Struggling to put young sister Karen through college. College is her worst opponent. Worst opponent ever. Struggling to put young sister Karen through college. Martial arts expert Christy Jones, Rothrock, earns fast cash by competing in illegal back alley matches. But Christy's rough and tumble life takes a terrifying turn when Karen falls prey to a savage killer.
Oh my god!
As the police working the case discover a trail of murdered victims, their only clue is the killer's grisly trademark, an unusual martial arts technique known as the Chinese Dragon Claw. Teaming up with a streetwise police detective, John Miller, Christy sets out to avenge her sister's death and must fight for her life against the most lethal adversary imaginable.
College?
College. 1993, color, 95 minutes.
Okay.
Rated R.
Oh, good.
For adult situations.
Oh,
Like college.
boobs.
College.
Boobs.
College boobs.
That's acceptable. That's preferable, actually. I wouldn't want to see old folks' home boobs.
Not in the movie.
It'd be rated X.
All right. Let's watch the best movie. It cannot be beaten. It is undefeatable.
All right. What?
I mean, that guy's wearing chains and stuff.
Right?
Oh, that was not sped up at all.
It's a commercial for how durable mom jeans are.
Ah, the tall butts of the early 90s.
I promise not to say anything. Please let me go.
It's gonna use her like a punching bag.
That would be awesome.
Let me go.
I mean, it's not awesome to hit women. It would be visually.
You gotta clarify your statements, little Jack.
Stingrays got me. I'm in the old Raycor warehouse on 10th and 18th Street.
The old rape core warehouse.
Rapeco.
It's funny because it's true.
Metropolitan Police, may I help you?
Yes, please listen carefully. My name is Christy Jones, and I need you to get a message to Sergeant Nick DeMarco immediately.
Or anybody.
Or just any police officer.
If Nick's there, that's cool. If not, just
Send a bunch of cops to the Rapeco building.
You'll never guess what's happening there.
honestly, you'd think the cops would just hang around the rape core building.
Yeah. They order 10,000 pounds of packaging peanuts every day.
So today we watched 3 action movies, and the first one we watched was called Blood Debts.
Bloodettes.
Bloodettes. Mike, can you explain more about the Bloodettes? Jack, could you tell us about the Bloodettes?
Blood Debts is a super awesome action movie with a simple revenge story. Our main character, Blood Debt, his daughter and her fiance get murdered and possibly raped in the beginning of the movie. And he needs to go on a killing rampage to clean up the scum in the town. Mm-hmm. And along the way, cleans up some other scum who beat up old men.
Is he as upset that they killed his daughter and her fiance, or that they shot up their chicken?
When your gun and rape club is just wandering around the forest looking for people to gun up or rape, some fried chicken is going to be a casualty. That's. Oh no, my chicken! The thing that I really enjoyed about Blood Debts is that it's the most generic version of the Death Wish scenario possible.
Hey, where's Brick?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Wow.
Thanks for throwing me right in the cup.
Talk or I'll blow your head off.
Is that the Batman transition? Blood Debt! Blood Debt!
We didn't find out the main character's name until 35 minutes into the fucking movie. And that wasn't on purpose. That was just...
It was an offhand comment when our main character wasn't even in the scene.
Yeah. It's just a detail you just didn't need to know because who cares? It didn't matter. It was just he is revenge man, and he is getting revenge on the people that did things to his family. And then he gets the revenge, and then he has to revengeance more.
See, this is a movie with token plot. Okay? And in a bad movie, there's nothing worse than exposition, which I think we have a different movie, an example of the other extreme. And given the choice, I will take no exposition in a bad movie, because it's just, Grandpa's gonna take his gun and he's just gonna start shooting people. Enjoy it.
Yeah, it was 90 minutes of just no bullshit. As Joe Bob Briggs used to say, there wasn't a lot of plot to get in the way of that movie.
Yeah.
It just, everything happened, and then when he was done having the revenge, that's the end of the movie. Oh.
Aha, I have another knife. Didn't think I'd carry two of them, did you? Where would I put them? In my tight pants? You don't know.
Well, we should note, or for some context, that this is a Filipino production company called, what is it called?
Silver Star?
Silver Star Pictures, and basically it's a Filipino production company trying to make an American action movie, and it comes off exactly like that.
Well, how come he knew that we were after his ass?
The old man wants his money back.
Who's that?
I never
Hey,
saw
what does he
that
want?
piece of shit. Hey,
What's that?
come on, man. Who's he?
Oh,
Come on,
he wants money back, huh?
Look at his shirt tied up. That's not American. Look at both of them. They have their shirts tied up. What the fuck is that? Like at one point, Blood Debt's wife gets kidnapped.
Yeah.
Call him.
Getting kidnapped?
But then we have a long stretch of the movie, 20, 30 minutes, where the wife is not mentioned at all.
That's no problem. They gave me a bit of a lead.
Christ. You just ruined my day.
Sorry.
Remember how your wife's kidnapped?
Everything is just an excuse. There is a loose framework of some vague kind of plot that starts with revenge for the daughter, and then it turns into saving the wife, and then revenge for the wife. But in a loop, this movie is introduce bad guy does crime, Blood Debt is in the area, kills bad guy, repeat.
Repeat until all bad guys are eradicated.
Yes.
And Blood Debt is definitely the action hero where he never, people are spraying machine gun fire at him. He never gets touched until like the very end, where he's got to show just the tiniest bit of vulnerability before blowing a guy up.
Frequently, he's the only one with a gun.
This is true.
It's like when he killed those three men for mugging a guy. I don't
There
think
was a bat.
They had a bat.
Yeah.
It wasn't really fair.
No, but you know what? That old drunkard had money that was his, goddammit.
The old man wants his money back.
And it was only fair that he retained that money to spend on more booze.
Hey, help me. They took all my money. They took all my money. Help.
I also love the portrayal of every bad guy in this movie. There's a kind of a B plot of a rapist who's raping, and he just seems to know when a woman is alone outside.
Well, because they sit outside with a spotlight on them, smoking a cigarette, looking seductive.
And then,
which we thought was, we were like, this is a trap. Yeah. She's bait. The police put her out there to lure rapists, but apparently that wasn't the case. She's sitting there like,
Apparently everybody in the Philippines is a rapist. Anytime there's a woman in this movie who doesn't have an escort, it's like the rapist dolls just start creeping out of the woodwork.
They sort of just descend into the scene and just like appearing out of the bushes, just.
so much crime on Filipino golf courses. It's just out of control.
Oh, and when the criminals, I love, when the rapists in the beginning, when they're not raping, they have like nice jobs. They're at the golf course.
Yeah, there's the one guy that he has a nice office. He's very busy, but he looks up and oh no, it's Blood Debt, and he gets shot because he's a bad guy. What's Mark's wife's name?
Mark's wife.
Correct.
Yes. It's a completely coincidental name.
He was very lucky to have married somebody whose name was Mark's wife.
What's your name? I'm Mark's wife.
Yeah.
Let's get married. But the action scenes weren't particularly good.
No.
I mean, the most you could say is that people got shot.
There was blood.
And really, like, I would forgive a very loose, vague, pointless plot if the action scenes were spectacular.
Sure.
Yeah.
The action scenes were terrible.
They weren't. It wasn't like they were terrible. What it was slightly passable. This movie kept hobbling along, like weak story, weak characterizations, kind of weak action. It hobbled along.
More than kind of weak.
More than kind of weak.
They just stood there and shot people.
Yeah, they had machine guns and they shot and people fell down. And,
Somebody ran away from Blood Dead a few times because fucker's deadly. But that's it.
Real quick, in case anyone's confused, the general premise, Mark Collins' wife is kidnapped by a crime syndicate boss who uses Mark Collins to kill off all the competition, all the criminal element in the city.
From the old crime syndicate.
From the old crime syndicate, which are just guys who rape. And then, and maybe steal purses or beat up drunken men in a bathroom.
We hired a freelance killer to take care of all the other members of the previous gang.
But in a really smart move, the guy that he hired to wipe out the entire criminal element, he decides to blow his wife up in a car. Because that won't piss him off one bit.
No,
Instead of just giving him his wife back and some money and leaving things be, he blows his wife up.
And the money.
And the money. That car's blown up. Look how old it is. That car's gonna fucking blow up. I told you! Because it's an old car. They got it cheap.
Also, she's being released from kidnapping.
It was a little trick for the audience, you know. So to surprise the audience, even though we knew when she pulled out in the 40-year-old car that they got, you know, for $50, like that
didn't
had
even
black
have an
smoke
engine
coming
in it.
out of the back. Yeah, they're like,
Probably.
okay, yeah, they're gonna blow that car up. And she's like, Mark, Mark. The camera's like 40 feet away. That car is blowing up.
Consistently pushing Blood Debt too far never worked well for anybody.
No.
And they do not learn that lesson throughout the entire film.
But it's okay, because they have a special device to deal with Blood Debt. They have the Super Nintendo Super Scope.
As seen on the front cover.
Are you sure that wasn't the purple space bazooka?
There's a badass bazooka that has an uncanny ability. It makes everyone jump.
Well, unless you're Blood Dead, then it just makes a little poof on the ground.
Right.
Jumpzooka?
Yeah. It makes everybody jump to death.
But you have to shoot it right into the center of an evenly distributed circle of people.
And you can't hit anyone specifically.
No.
And it has a good 20-foot radius.
It seems like it.
When the poof of smoke goes off, everybody jumps.
A little poof in the middle.
Yeah.
And finally, everybody else is dead, and he gets up to Bill. And then Bill...
Who's the main bad guy?
Bill's like the major domo. Like, he's the guy.
With the drugs and prostitution business.
He's very sinister. He's the sinister Bill.
He's not really very sinister.
The mega criminal Bill.
He's the main boss.
Famed, renowned sociopath, scourge of the free world Bill.
Contact the boys. Streets open. We're in business.
Bill.
Also known as Billy.
Billy.
Billy, to his mom.
Billy. Everyone else just calls him Bill.
Bye-bye.
Billy, are you done shooting your movie?
Billy, can you get the pimps out of the driveway? I need to go to my doctor's appointment.
Mom, I'm auditioning pimps today. You knew that.
What was the famous
Bill, you left drug pushers all over your room. Now clean them up.
What was Bill's famous line? I need you to round up all the pimps you can.
Recruit more pimps.
We need you to recruit more pimps.
He's given a list of what to do. He's giving the crime orders.
Now that
more
he has
pimps.
free reign over the city.
Recruit more pimps and pushes.
Recruit more pimps. More pushers. Buy informers.
Someday I want to be able to say, recruit more pimps. I've never said that in a serious conversation. No.
But so finally, Blood Dead gets all the way up to the head boss, Bill, and then Bill just shoots him And he falls over. He's like, oh God, you know what's gonna happen? Is this gonna be like a First Blood ending where poor Bill just kills Blood Debt to death and it's like nothing happens? No, but all of a sudden Blood Debt just pulls back the sleeve and there's this tiny little Derringer guy.
Well, it looks like a modified Derringer.
It looks like a prop Derringer is what it looks like.
Looks like a piece of PVC pipe.
With like a tube like about this big, right? So he pulls it out and aims it and then a fucking rocket, a tiny little rocket shoots out of the gun and hits Bill.
He had a little tiny gun.
That was the best ending ever.
Holy shit! Guys, by the way, I'd like to note that Mark's wife in the credits. Mark's wife did not have a name.
Mark Collins gave himself up to me.
After he exploded the main bad guy. He exploded the main bad guy, and then that's the end of the movie.
He exploded him with a tiny gun. He had a giant gun.
Oh my God.
He built a tiny handheld rocket launcher and didn't tell the movie.
No. It just, all of a sudden, they were just whoop.
He must have only had one shot with it because he saved it, you know, and he was waiting to use it on Bill.
And so Bill's hit, he explodes, and his body parts have not even hit the ground when the freeze frame happens, and it comes up. This is Mark, what was it?
Collins.
Mark Collins, 45.
Turned himself in
into the police.
and spent the rest of his life in prison.
Yeah. So Mark's still a good guy. That blood debt, he paid his debt to society after killing all the bad guys. The end.
Oh my God.
That was beautiful.
Wow.
That made up for the whole movie. That's the whole movie right there.
It's all for the punchline.
That was beautiful.
Okay, so our next movie of the night is The Tomb. Mike, can you tell us about The Tomb? Josh, could you tell us about The Tomb?
No. I don't want to talk about The Tomb.
Well, this was the worst movie that we've ever seen. I'll speak for all of us, safely. This is shit. It's called The Tomb, and it looks like an Indiana Jones knockoff.
Yeah.
Obviously, they go into a little Egyptian nightclub, and then they meet a man, and he says, "I know where a tomb is." And then they go to a tomb, which is a set for a medieval castle children's television show. And then they open up a tomb and there's a vampire lady in it. And then it cuts to people talking on the phone for 2 hours.
It's a pretty good description.
Cameron Mitchell stars.
And Cameron Mitchell is in it.
So you did miss the opening bit with the airplane.
Oh yeah, there's an opening bit where our hero is driving a car, and there's a little airplane flying around that's flown by Sybil Danning, with the film credits as the star of the film, even though she's in 2 minutes. And they land, and it's kind of like the opening of Raiders. There's some similarities to Raiders.
A little bit.
There's some Indiana Jones moments in here. I say that very carefully.
You say that, but you know what we never see in the movie? That hat.
No.
That hat never shows up. That hat is a complete fabrication.
But the opening, he is meeting Sybil Danning, who's flying a plane, to sell her an artifact that he recovered apparently in some kind of Indiana Jones-esque method, without seeing that, which we see in Raiders, which is exciting. That would be too exciting and be too expensive. But he says, "Here's the thing," and then it's a double cross. Oh no! And it's similar to the Belloc scene in Raiders when he steals the idol from him, but except there is no exciting chase sequence. It just ends.
And we, at that point, we were just primed. I was like, this is going to be great. There's going to be explosions and witty dialogue and all sorts of... No, that was it. That was all there was.
You go straight from there to Tutti Frutti.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting thing. It cuts to like an Egyptian. I think they're in Egypt.
Yeah.
Someone in the Pharaohs, like some kind of wacky band, and they're singing
Pharaoh and the Mummies or something.
Yes, it's
they're
Pharaoh and the
singing
Mummies.
Tutti Frutti, and it's very reminiscent of the Anything Goes opening of Temple of Doom. And then there's wacky credits, which are similar to comedy credits. They're coming in and they're all creative, and it's like, okay, this is going to be a funny, wacky kind of adventure movie.
Yeah.
And then it almost seems like after 15 minutes, a completely different film starts.
Well, after 15...
Exposition the movie.
According to the information available, the fetus was buried alive in a tomb hidden in the mountains near Cairo.
Well, has her tomb ever been discovered?
No.
Look, that's Cameron Mitchell. It is a very, very good possibility that they filmed the first 15 minutes like you described to get distribution for this movie, assuming that potential buyers would shut the movie off after 5 minutes and go, okay, whatever, it's fine. You know what I mean? And then just pad the rest out.
It was a 100% swindle. This was a producer style. We're gonna get a bunch of money and then make it as cheap as we can.
This whole fucking movie is a con job. I mean, look, not only when you're looking at the box, not only like this scene on the front is the first scene in the movie and it never happens again. You've got like the Columbia Pictures style print on the spine with the picture of the, like it's meant to look like something that's quality.
Oh, and all of the stars of the movie, none of them star in the movie. They all show up fairly briefly.
I don't want to be seen.
I still love Cameron Mitchell when he's good, but I now no longer trust that it's going to be a good Cameron Mitchell.
Yeah, I understand. Seeing his name on a movie does not guarantee that he's going to be a drunken wreck.
And in this movie, he's actually on the phone, and you can see him reading his dialogue, looking down and reading his dialogue.
I don't have a problem with that.
I will allow you to read my notes. We'll publish our findings together, and I'll share full credit with you.
The problem is that they waste Cameron Mitchell. And any film, anyone that hires Cameron Mitchell and has an irascible police chief in the movie and yet does not cast Cameron Mitchell as the irascible police chief, they fucked up.
Yep.
They fucked up.
Yep.
100%.
Oh.
Because maybe something would have happened that was more interesting if Cameron Mitchell was the...
Cameron Mitchell should have been the sexy vampire.
Sold. I'd watch that. I'd watch that in a
They
second.
open the sarcophagus and he's in there. And he's drunk.
I'm gonna suck all your blood.
It's a requirement to liquor him up before filming his scenes. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think that, like, in that scenario, if they opened it up, that he'd tell them to close the damn door?
Close the fucking sarcophagus!
Close the damn door. Will you close the fucking doors?
Dr. Manners, this is how we're doing.
To me, the most important scene of the movie is Grandma Stripper.
We forgot about Grandma Stripper.
The unsexiest stripper in all of Los Angeles.
So this is how we introduced Johnny Meatface back into Los Angeles. Is he's at this bar wearing the bright purple matching top and short shorts set, and he's in this bar where there's the stripper, and first you see just her feet, and it looks like a horse because she's not bending her knees, so it's just like these silver legs going like this, and then you pan up, and holy God, the boobs!
It's the biggest pair of cans on the sweetest old lady face you'd ever see. She looks like someone's aunt or grandma, and she's just having a great time flopping these things all around. Also, no idea how to dance.
No.
She had a toy gun, if I recall. Right?
And a cop
she's
hat.
like, yeah.
Shit, girl. I bet you got back problems.
It was maybe the worst thing we've ever watched on this show.
Yeah.
I think it was. I think
the funny part is only 84 minutes long, and it felt like 5 hours long. Oh my God! He just said cataract surgery. There were some exciting visual effects when her hand turned into a fire hand. And she vaporized people.
I guess.
And then
exciting.
The guy ran at her. I don't even remember what happened in the end. How did they beat her? Oh, she turned into an old lady and she started on fire.
Because the love interest took off her crown.
She took off her crown and threw it.
And then all
at
of a
her.
sudden there were like laser beams shooting at the vampire, and then she turned old and lit on fire.
What's happening?
She just took a thing off her head, and then the vampire mummy exploded.
What's happening?
It's on fire.
It's over. That's the important thing.
That's how I'm gonna die, by the way.
You're gonna take off. Somebody's gonna take off their crown.
And I'm gonna turn old and light on fire.
So just like Dick Clark.
Yeah.
Got a plan. No one will get that reference anymore.
Okay, so our final movie of the night was Undefeatable. Josh, can you tell us about Undefeatable?
All right, Undefeatable is the story of Cynthia Rothrock. She is some sort of fighter person that works. She's got the Sarah Connor job where she works at a cafe, but she's also trying to put her sister through college because she cares about her family and shit like that. Meanwhile, there's this guy, and he rapes his wife, who decides to leave him. And then he kooky crazy decides that every woman he sees that kind of looks like his wife is his wife, and then they all get raped. And the cops are involved. And what do they do? And then the cops get involved, and then it leads to a denouement in which everybody loses their eyes.
Oh God! Yeah. No, ow!
Great stunt.
Mm-hmm. Shockingly accurate. You missed one key feature. In the universe of Undefeatable, every man, woman, child, and therapist knows Kung Fu.
Oh God.
Everybody knows Kung Fu.
He's the psychiatrist.
Undefeatable's first victim, who's just some random person on the street, her boyfriend, a Kung Fu champion. Just by chance.
Yep.
Kung Fu champion.
Yep. He likes to pull the eyes out of people's faces.
He's a violent psychopath who likes ripping people's eyes.
Why has he got so many eyes and so many fish tanks?
What stingray have eyeballs in a fish tank for?
It's just the one fish tank, Josh. He only has one
that's
fish
enough.
tank.
That's one too many.
He hasn't collected enough eyes yet to necessitate two.
You think he'd get there?
Try that again.
He hasn't collected enough eyes yet to necessitate 2.
You think he'd get there? Necessitate.
Necessitate.
Do you want another beer, Rich?
Huh?
It's necessitate.
Necessitate.
You're missing a whole syllable.
He doesn't have enough eyes yet to necessitate. Fuck it! Fuck it, I'm done. I hate you people.
I know you do.
Why am I here?
I know you hate us, especially me.
I could be working at a toll booth.
That would be preferable.
Could you get that job?
Oh,
no, I didn't mean that as an insult.
Damn! Goodbye.
Well, I guess Rich was defeatable.
Oh.
That's true.
Well, who is Stingray, for one? Let's get there. Let's start at the beginning. Stingray is a boxer, a fighter.
He's an ex-mechanic.
Ex-mechanic who is involved in death matches that take place in a boxing ring with boxing gloves. And his wife and/or girlfriend, I'm not sure.
No, it's a wife.
She's scared of him, so she's talking to a psychiatrist and going, my husband is a violent psychopath who murders people for a living. And then our other character is Cynthia Rothrock. And she is a street fighter who is a waitress who earns money by, it's almost like touch football, equivalent of what Stingray does. Once you push some guy down on the ground, you win.
It's the tamest street fight ever.
Nobody seems to bleed or really be injured that badly.
So the bloody duels to the death take place in some kind of facility boxing ring with boxing gloves.
Yeah.
And then the tame street fights take place in a dirty alley.
It's like the touch football version of street fighting.
That's what you just said.
That's what Mike just
He
said.
just said that. Oh, God damn it.
He said that 2 seconds ago. So that was a really good show. I mean, thanks everyone for watching Best of the Worst. And we just can't do it anymore. We're done.
Oh, but see, it's actually demonstrated at certain points. There's another woman all of a sudden that Stingray just bumps into on the street and knocks her fucking box out of her hands, and she's like, "Oh, why don't you come on over to my place and help me out and in the pants?" And she's like, "No, I just saw this lady over here that's got a flower dress and has the same hair as my wife, so I'm gonna go rape her." And that turns out to be Cynthia Rothrock's sister.
Anna, you're coming with me.
Hey! You're crazy. My name's not Anna.
Overall, the level of stunts in this movie, you know, like classic B movie, kind of schlocky plot, but stunts. The guy falls on a car. Stunts.
Yeah. There's a ton of good fight choreography happening. Cynthia Rothrock is super badass. And it's really cool. But you're really just sort of spending the plot waiting for another action scene to come along, and just like she's falling in love with the police guy, I guess. He's always around. He's just always around. It's like you gotta fall in love with him because he's the only dude that's there all the time.
It's a kung fu movie in a universe where everybody knows kung fu. Of course we're waiting for the next kung fu scene to happen.
Clunk.
That was great.
So the expert that they call in about like grips, he knows only 3 people in the U.S. that know this particular grip, and it turns out that none of these 3 people are the person that is actually killing everybody.
And they all live in a 1-mile radius,
They're all
which is
just right in
very
town.
convenient for the police investigation.
Yeah, they're all just right there. And one guy has been out of town for a month, one guy is in a wheelchair, and then the third guy just gets beat up for his troubles. Because fuck the police.
Why do they take it on faith that the one guy has been out of town for a month? Maybe he's not out of town. Maybe he's been running around killing all these women. They just gotta take that for granted.
That's good police work right there,
Yeah.
Rich. That's what that is.
That's real world police work.
Well, maybe like he would be a suspect, but it went dead. The trail went dead there. They can't do anything more. So they're checking other leads.
Okay.
It's fine.
Quit making excuses for the cops.
Mommy? How?
Whoa!
Hey, the empty boxes!
Oh no!
Boxes!
Why did you have all those empty boxes stacked up?
So basically, it all boils down to the psychiatrist gets kidnapped by Stingray, and she's totally playing the mind games with him and being like, "I'm your mom," and I say you're bad, and like manages to get him to go out to get groceries. No, that happened.
I remember it.
That's not even. I'm not making that up. And then
she's gonna cook him a dinner.
Well, she starts with "I'm your wife."
Right.
I'm your wife, and he's like, "Honey, I'm gonna rape you." No, I'm your mom.
Don't rape your mom.
Don't rape your mom.
I like that though. I mean, she's a psychiatrist, and she does very smart things to get out of the situation. She uses her skill base to manipulate him.
Well, because she tried using kung fu and it didn't work.
Set.
Yeah, kung fu did not so much work.
No,
but she also knows.
kung fu. Of course
she does. Why wouldn't she? And then they all end up in the basement where the final battle happens, and police guy and Stingray are beating the shit out of each other, and then Cynthia Rothrock comes back in and starts beating the shit out of him, and then there is a hook just kind of situated on the wall.
Whoa, before we get there, we need to talk about shirtless dudes. Something I think is very important because I want to end on that part, right? Because
well, yeah, that's where I was going. But go ahead. Talk about shirtless dudes.
Buff dudes.
Before we get there, something very important in any action movie is your action stars and action villains need to be shirtless and greased up.
Yeah.
And they both got to that point where their shirts were a little tattered, just tiny little scrapes on their shirts.
Just pop that off. Wait, what?
And he ripped his coat?
Oh.
Yeah, take off that shirt!
Pop it off!
Pop it off!
Oh, you pop it off!
Yeah!
Let's go!
They oiled themselves up ahead of time.
That's right.
And we get awesome flexing and hot bodies.
I've learned there are a lot of buff dudes in LA.
Yeah. So they get all greased up and basically just kind of slap their meat together for a little bit, which is wonderful.
Was it you that said while we were watching there's a couple T-bones just...
That's all it is, just meat clacking.
Couple of meat slabs going at it, and it's a shame that that's the climax of our film.
Oh, it's not.
Cynthia Rothrock.
Rich, did you just say meat slabs and climax in the same sentence?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did, Mike. But I mean, as far as the fight goes, Cynthia Rothrock is just so much better than the cop guy.
She's better than both of those guys.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
How have I never heard of her, and how is she not a star? How is she not a huge action star?
Yeah.
Her fight sequence with Stingray was more interesting.
She's flipping all over the place. She's doing fancy things with swords, and then the actual end of the movie is meat slabs going.
Hook! Hook!
There's another eye.
Fuck yeah! That's how you end the movie right there!
There he goes. Off into that sweet good night. This poor guy hoisted up by his fucking skull and then just goes away.
Did you just call the rapist who's been murdering innocent women a poor guy?
I did.
On a serious note, Rich, you mentioned you never heard of Cynthia Rothrock, and why isn't she a big star? And I'm curious, I've never heard of her either before this. I'm sure she's been in other action movies, but
her acting isn't terrible.
The 80s and 90s were the era of Schwarzenegger, Van Damme, etc. Is this, not to get too politically correct, but was it because she was a woman?
Probably.
And a female action star is not good for a primarily male audience.
Just regarded as too much of a novelty at the time?
Yeah, I mean,
could be.
Like, I can't think of a single other female kung fu star or action movie star from 80s and 90s. I can't think of one.
There probably were, but the fact that you can't think of them...
Can you think of any?
No, but that proves your point.
Yeah. I think it's because meathead fans of action movies couldn't accept a female action hero.
That's a shame.
Well, and that's the thing.
She was really good.
Throughout this movie, she's totally strong character. There's no point where she just like randomly like takes her top off or anything like that. No, because that would be a thing. And she doesn't do any of that. She is a strong character. She carries the movie on her shoulders admirably, and she's really like, I'm not going to say she's an amazing actress or anything, but she's good enough to carry this movie. Her stunts are fantastic, which is what you want in an action movie. Yeah. So she deserves accolades.
Her breakdown when she like sees the sister's corpse, that was pretty decent acting.
Her acting is on par with her male action equivalents of the era, and her stunts and fighting skills is phenomenal. Or not, I wouldn't say phenomenal, but equivalent or better even. Yeah.
So it's a question of, is that down to she didn't get cast in big movies? Or was it part of like a, you know, Hollywood patriarchy, or who knows?
Well, you know, part of the problem is she looks like Bette Midler.
So in the coda to the film, Cynthia Rothrock and the police guy and Cynthia Rothrock's gang all show up at her sister's grave just to tell the sister, like, we got him, and he's not going to be hurting anybody anymore because he's still dangling from a hook in the basement of the hospital, as far as we know. And then there's been this kind of running joke about her gang can't get into college because their IQs are too high.
Do you think we should really apply to college? I told you, man. Our IQs are too high.
And then Cynthia Rothrock turns around and says, well, guess what? I actually did enroll you in college against your will, and you start Monday.
Go ahead and laugh. I enrolled you guys. You all start Monday.
What?
And then she kind of ha, and they say, well, aren't you going to go to college? And, no, I'm not going to college. And then her cop boyfriend's like, I've enrolled you in college, and you start on Monday.
Yeah, it's you. I enrolled you too.
And that's not how college works.
For everyone!
Everybody college.
And then in the theater, Oprah Winfrey shows up and says, and you're going to college! And you're going to college! Yeah! So high pants, you gotta oil yourself up, and...
that's how you defeat a rapist.
And hanging him on a hook by his eye.
Is that what happens on To Catch a Predator? I've never watched that show. Does he grease himself up and hang people from their eyeballs?
I really hope so.
Come over here. I want to have a conversation with you. Come over here. Come over here. We're just going to talk. Why did you come here today? Hold on. I'm going to get my hook. Why did you come here today?
So.
Oh, my brain.
I think we've talked these movies to death. Mike, which one of these is the best of the worst?
Well, I can say for certainty it's not The Tomb. Blood Debts was fun, and it had the most amazing ending I've ever seen in a motion picture. Ever. I'm just saying ever.
This is better than like The Usual Suspects or anything like that?
Yeah, no, it tops all movies, really. So if you have a chance, check out Blood Debts. It's playing in your local theaters. Wait, no, it's not. Gosh, it's tough. It's a tough decision. Undefeatable, I think I may have to say Undefeatable as best of the worst, because it really is the best of the worst. But I'm going to go with Blood Debts. Because Undefeatable crosses the line into regular movie, into regular quality 80s action film. And I don't think it belongs on this panel.
The last 2 seconds of Blood Debts, it's really good. I don't know if that's enough to have me make it best of the worst. I mean, there's some really confusing screenwriting going on. It's amusing just how childish everything is. Everybody has that simple name. It ends in a bazooka, a mini bazooka. But this ends with a man who's hoisted up on a hook by his eye socket. If we're going with endings, this one actually competes. And just because I like some of the stunt work, I'm actually going with Undefeatable. They were both a bit too rapey for my taste, but I certainly can't go with The Tomb. So the Undefeatable. I would rather be raped than watch The Tomb.
Oh. I mean, Blood Debts, I appreciate it as sort of an example of cutting everything, absolutely everything to the bone, anything that's not moving the plot forwards is just jettisoned. Undefeatable has really good stunts. It's got really good fight choreography. The acting is passable. It's over the top. So I'm gonna go with Undefeatable. Also because I agree the final moments of each movie are
above average.
Above average and very comparable, and just like you sat through all this bullshit and then this amazing thing happens. Yes, but both.
Freeze frame on exploding body.
Hook in eye drifts away on the ceiling. They're comparable. Yeah, all right. So Undefeatable is my choice.
Ooh, very, very interesting. I agree with Mike a lot of, I agree with what a lot of Mike is saying. Undefeatable has more high points, it has more production value, it is more of a real movie. Blood Debt's high point is so amazingly high that I want to say it's the best of the worst. I think I had more fun watching Undefeatable. Undefeatable had more smaller high points, bad acting, random kung fu, mom jeans. And Blood Debts had one of the most amazing ramp-ups in the history of ramps.
Is it even a ramp up? It's like just a sudden.
It's an atomic bomb.
It's a quick ramp.
But that high point is so much higher than anything else in Undefeatable. But Undefeatable had more better moments. That's not a proper sentence.
Just a higher average.
When you average them out, you're saying that Undefeatable is slightly higher?
Undefeatable is slightly higher. I think Undefeatable is. I think everyone should see Blood Debts all the way through.
If at all possible.
If at all possible. But I think. I also just think that if you like schlocky action movies, Undefeatable should be on your shelf. So Undefeatable, I think, is the best of the worst.
So Undefeatable is undefeatable.
Like I said.
You did a thing.
Like I said early on, you can't beat it. It's undefeatable. What is that? What are you doing with that?
That's The Tomb. And I think we all agree that The Tomb is the worst film of the night. The question is The Tomb the worst film we have ever watched on this show?
Yep.
Yeah, no debate at all.
No.
By far the worst.
Plus, there's a hatred towards it because of the trick that they did, or it's obviously a scam.
Yeah.
It's obviously a ripoff, and not in a fun way. It's just a sickening kind of disgusting, like cash.
The cover and the first 5 minutes they used to trick everyone into buying it, and it's deplorable.
I feel sorry for people that rented this movie in their video store, looking at it, going, "Oh, it's like an Indiana Jones movie. Let's take it home, and it's movie night." And then, I feel sorry for the people that it duped. So it's a disgusting, sickening, awful, hateful movie, and I hate it.
I feel insulted by the producers of that movie.
So, worst movie ever. Do you have more to say about it?
No, personal insult.
Personal insult.
Yeah.
Worst movie we've watched. I'm not going to say worst movie.
Well, on the show.
Worst movie that we've done on the show.
It definitely deserves total destruction.
Yeah, I think it's unanimous. Actually, I want to unwatch the movie, if at all possible. You said you had ideas on this earlier?
I think I've got a little plan how we might just unwatch this movie.
Is it over there?
Oh.
After introducing our third tape, for no good reason at all, Rich Evans smacked the other two tapes, sending them crashing down to the floor. Unfortunately, this broke important internal mechanisms inside the Blood Debts tape, damaging what might be the last copy of the movie known to exist in the universe. Faced with a strong desire to watch a Filipino rape film, Josh performed the world's first VHS reel transfer in order to save the film. Using the case from an even more worthless tape, the Blood Debt reels were successfully transplanted. And except for some early tracking problems, the tape played perfectly.
Well, how come he knew that we were after his ass?
We got a tape that will work.
All right.
Nothing rattles.
Let's try it.
In order to unwatch The Tomb, Josh again performs a real transplant, this time inverting the tape so that it plays backwards. Hopefully, when we watch the film in reverse in its entirety, we can forget ever having seen this nightmare of a shitfuck film.
Hey guys, what'd you think of The Tomb?
The what?